Welcome everybody, I am Traren. In this video we're going to be going over basic Demon Hunter tanking in World of Warcraft. I expect you to have a general understanding of your class abilities and talents, as we won't be going over those in detail. We will be going over your main abilities and when or how to use them properly. This video is for beginners that want to get into some Mythic Plus dungeons or light raiding. These are my opinions and things that I've experienced and witnessed doing Mythic Plus dungeons myself. Please let me know in the comments how wrong I am. First, here's a list of abilities we're going to be talking about today. Demon Spikes, Fiery Brand, Immolation Aura, Metamorphosis, Infernal Strike, Soul Cleave, Disrupt, Sigil of Misery, and Sigil of Silence. Let's start on the left side of the screen with the proactive abilities. These are things that you're going to be using before something happens. Demon Spikes. This is your main ability for damage reduction. It boosts your armor and parry chance a significant amount. You want to apply this early and keep it up as much as possible. I see so many people waiting until they're half dead or worse and then pop this like it's a cooldown. Sure, it's helpful then, but wouldn't you rather not lose all those hit points to begin with? Fiery Brand. This is another ability you want to have up before you take damage. It reduces your damage taken by 40%. So if you're using it after you take damage, that's just stupid. Use it before and don't take the damage. It is a cooldown, but you want to be using it as often as possible because it's only 1 minute. So even trash pulls and things like that are acceptable. Immolation Aura. This doesn't directly provide you any survivability, but you do want to keep it up all the time regardless. Not only does this do AoE damage, but you also generate your resource for abilities that do help keep you alive. Just make sure you're always using this. Let's look over at the reactive abilities now. These are ones that you're going to want to be using after something happens, whether it's taking damage or someone casting a spell. Soul Cleave. This heals you. It'll also consume soul fragments around you for additional healing. You want to make sure you're missing health when you use this, but it is part of your main rotation, so you'll basically be using it all the time. You don't want to be resource capped, so using it even at full health is okay. Disrupt. This is your interrupt. Even as a tank, you should be interrupting as often as possible. Most times tanks will have the first interrupt on a pull. You can coordinate with your group if an order is necessary, and in most cases, it is very helpful. For the most part, you can't interrupt too much. Sigil of Misery. This ability fears targets in place for up to 20 seconds. This is very situational, but it can be used for a decent crowd control or to escape or kite. You can also interrupt some abilities that aren't interruptible by Disrupt, and also for multiple mobs that are casting or using abilities. You can get pretty creative with it. Sigil of Silence. This is a mass AoE silence for 6 seconds. This disruption will interrupt most things. It's almost proactive because of the delay, but I put it here because you're mostly going to be using it to silence casters, especially in large groups, to position them or to stop their spell casting. In the middle we have both. So these are abilities that you can use proactively or reactively. Metamorphosis increases your health and armor significantly. You also generate your resource more and get an additional soul fragment from Shear, which is your main attack. This is under the both category because you can use it before taking damage when you know you're going to be taking damage. You can also use it after you've taken a bunch of damage because the temporary hit points act like a small heal, and the extra soul fragments can help heal you up quickly. Generally, you're going to want to use it before taking damage, but it is a great oh crap button. Next, we have Infernal Strike. This isn't really like any of the other abilities. I have it under both because it doesn't really fit anywhere. You're going to open up most pulls with this by crashing into a group of mobs. You can, however, use it mid-fight to run away or kite, so it's kind of reactive. You use it to position yourself perfectly for fights that require precise positioning. Basically, you're going to be bouncing all over the place with this. It's just a fun ability that I wanted to throw in here, because you can be pretty creative with some things. Last but not least, at the very bottom here, under no categories, is Fell Devastation, because currently, this is only in the game as a talent, and it is not a very highly used talent. In Shadowlands, however, this becomes a baseline ability, and I am super excited for it. We get our own I-Beam as Vengeance. Basically, once this goes baseline, it's going to be a reactive to heal yourself, but it's on a minute cooldown, so you're going to be using it for AoE damage, probably as soon as it comes off of cooldown. The most important part of this is making sure that you have your Demon Spikes buff up as much as possible before taking damage. Use your other abilities to fill in or when you know you're going to be taking more damage than usual, and keep your healing abilities steady. Knowing the dungeon or raid is very important. Practice does make perfect. Also, let your group or raid know that you're new to tanking or new to the fight or new to the dungeon, and they might help you out. A lot of times they're very supportive, or they might kick you from the group, but you don't really want to play with those types of people anyways. One last thing, never ever ever turn your back on a boss or a group of enemies. It leaves you exposed, unable to dodge or parry, etc. Just don't do it. That wraps up this video on Demon Hunter tanking basics. Please make sure to like and subscribe so you know when future videos are released. Also catch me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/jtron where we can hang out, answer questions, and do some dungeons. That's it for now. Until next time.